Welcome to We Love Deck Builders, the podcast dedicated to empowering deck industry pros to construct a thriving business. Join your host, April Edwards, founder of Deck Builder Marketers, as she brings you a cheat sheet of industry secrets and strategies that promise to boost your deck building business. Whether you're a battle-tested pro or just starting your entrepreneurial journey, this podcast is your arsenal for expert insights and actionable advice. So tune in and let's carve a path to business growth, one insight at a time.
We are live. Deck Builder Marketers coming at you here. We got some good tips. So for those of you listening, welcome back to We Love Deck Builders, the podcast where decking professionals come to sharpen their skills and grow their business. I'm your host, April Edwards, CEO and growth strategist at Deck Builder Marketers, dedicated to helping you craft the business you deserve. Today's guest is our brilliant Alejandra, our strategist here at Deck Builder Marketers, and she brings a wealth of experience in managing Google Ads. So she's the right type of person to talk to help you guys better optimize your campaigns and maximize your ROI. So we are going to dive into the world of Google Ads recommendations, and we're going to kind of uncover the truth behind some of those tempting apply buttons. Alejandra, I'm so thrilled to have you. Thanks for joining us today.
No, so happy to be here. Hopefully, most of my recommendations are useful for clients.
I'm sure they will be. So for anybody listening, we're streaming live for the first time. So hopefully everything goes all right. Hopefully it does, so we can continue doing that moving forward. So for all of our listeners tuning in, tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your journey in marketing and how you became an account strategist here at Deck Builder Marketers.
Okay, so I'm from Nicaragua. I would like to start with that. I'm not in the US, and honestly, I'm so happy that I had the opportunity to be working with US companies, especially because that has opened this type of opportunities and the reason why I'm here today with the Builder Marketers. So I started doing digital marketing, I think in 2018. 18, 19. So I have a couple of years doing this. And the first thing that I learned was Google Ads. Like that's my core, and it's where I started doing marketing as a whole. So after that, being exposed to SEO, Facebook, everything like paid ads and also organic traffic. But I feel like Google Ads, it's where I started. And that's why I can say I have 5 years or more of experience in Google Ads. And I ended up here in Deck Builder Marketers by a friend. Actually, he knew one of your friends, which is Brad. Mm-hmm. And he introduced me to Brad, and Brad introduced me to you. So I had the opportunity to jump in an interview, and he told me you were looking for a strategist, and I felt like that was the description applied to what I was doing and what I really like to do, which is strategies mostly, and just build that relationship with the clients, try to help them understand. At the beginning, I was really technical, and then through the years, I learned how to communicate in a friendly and non-technical way to the clients, because try to help them understand what are we doing. So
yeah. So I think that's a really good tip too. I mean, people sometimes ask me, why should I join Nadra? Or, I think maybe you stop getting out there as much as you evolve in your business. And it's just so important to continuously grow your network because you just never know. And so in this particular situation, I met Brad through a coaching group, and then, he had his network, and then fast forward to today, and we have an amazing account strategist that adds unreal value to our team. And she's all the way in Nicaragua. I mean, I think that's like, we're kind of spoiled in the way that we can hire people anywhere. So we can hire the best because everyone can work remotely on their computer, which is great. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's talk about Google Ads a little bit. I talk to a lot of prospects that Google makes it really easy for anybody to, create an account and get some ads running. Um, and I think that a lot of the people that I talk to, they kind of just check that box. They don't really know, they don't feel confident, they don't really know what they're doing. Google definitely tries to make it easy, and then they'll pair you up with the rep sometimes to really help you through that. They created smart campaigns. I don't know how long ago, maybe it's probably been a while now.
It's been a while, yeah.
Yeah. So they created smart campaigns, which is just, how would you describe it? I would describe it as a quick and easy way to, get some campaigns up and running, but you can't really control a lot. So I'll have Alejandra give you the real deal on it. But I guess the last thing I wanted to say is that, you know, people don't invest enough in the Google ads, and they're not in there, tweaking things and trying to get the best results. A lot of deck builders I talk to don't have tracking set up, and it's extremely important.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, I always like to use the matchmaker scenario where, Google's a matchmaker between your customers and you. And then, like marketing is the matchmaker between your customer and you as well. But anyway, Google wants to know that if they're going to send people to your website, their searchers to your website, that they're finding what they're looking for. So if you don't have goal tracking and conversion tracking set up, Google's not going to know that. And they're not going to be
Mhm.
as prone to want to send, people to your website versus competitors. And there's so much to it. It's like an auction. You have to bid and you have to understand the market so that you're not overbidding and things like that. But in summary, I would say, builders come to me and they have started some smart campaigns. They literally don't even know if they're working. I mean, even if you're only investing $500, which seems to be the number a lot of people use,
Yeah.
um, before, working with us, um, that's still $500. You don't even know if it's doing anything. So I think that's super important. Anyway, I'll hand it over to Alejandra for her to give you her expert description.
So yeah, I mean, smart campaigns, they were created for people that want to start learning in Google. Like, I don't have the time to optimize the accounts. I don't have the time right now to hire or the money to hire someone to manage my account. So I don't know, if I want to start learning about Google Ads, let's do a smart campaign. So it can help you understand how Google performs. Like, hey, okay, these are the themes that I can use. I don't have full control over my campaign, but a smart campaign is pretty easy for you to play around and try to understand the Google platform, the Google Ads platform, what you can see, what you have access to. But honestly, it's a start. I'm not going to tell you that it's bad. If you want to learn on your own, if you are too afraid of doing the manual optimizations, the manual setup from the beginning, and you don't want to spend too much time doing ad copy, because what the Smart Campaign does basically, they take your themes. You can just give them small descriptions, and based on the keyword that the person is looking, they will build a ad copy, like the headline. So if you're that person that don't have the time and don't have the resources to have someone doing the manual optimizations of your account, it's a way to start. But on the other hand, manual optimizations are important because honestly, those allows you to have full control over your campaigns. By carefully selecting the keywords, you will craft a specific ad copy to the keyword that you're targeting, and you'll be able to adjust the beats based on the performance data. You can ensure your ads reach the right people. It's a hands-on approach that helps you get better quality leads because you can fine tune your campaigns the way you want to the audience that you want, and you really want to focus on the most relevant audience that will lead you to a high return on investment, and that's the full control that you want to have.
I
So
kind of
that's
look
why
at it.
it is
I kind of
recommended.
look at it as like you can buy like a DIY kit,
Hmm.
for like building something, or you can get it customized. And that's really the difference. Like when you can customize something and you have full control, you can really get what you want out of it. So let's take a step back. So smart campaigns, pretty quick to set up, kind of runs on autopilot, right? And then what are
It's
the other
an
options when you're
autopilot.
saying manual optimizations? Like how would you describe that? And what does that setup look like?
So the manual optimization, it's where you set up the campaign from scratch. You
Hmm.
tell Google, these are the keywords that I want to use. I'm doing my keyword selection based on this themes or topics. So let's give you let's use an example for our clients. I know that they want to rank for keywords such as like builders, deck installation, screen rooms, patio builders. So I'm not going to put all the keywords in one basket because at the beginning, you need to make sure that you are selecting the keywords based on the topic that you want to show ads for. So if I'm doing deck builder keywords, I'll make sure to build an ad group, that's how we call it, inside the campaign, just for those keywords.
Hmm.
Because my ad is going to be focused on deck builder keywords, not patio builders, not screen rooms. And that's the way that we segment our keywords. And the
Hmm.
campaigns in Google Ads, we try to, when we do it from scratch, we try to separate the keywords by theme. So we can do tailored ads for those specific keywords. And that's going to help you with the ad ranking, with the ad relevance, because Google understands, okay, this person wants to show up for deck builder keywords. And this ad copy is relevant to that keyword. So I'm going to, and based on the budget as well, I'm going to give you the opportunity to show up first, and it will show up first. You have with manual optimizations, as I said at the beginning, when you start your campaign from scratch, you select the audiences, you select your locations. Your locations, you can select the locations in a smart campaign too, but you can play around with zip codes, cities, have a segmentations of regions, and you can build all that from scratch. If you just want to show ads in computers or tablets or mobiles, that's something that you can build from scratch at the beginning too.
So that, I mean, that's great because if you can customize it, if you want to get more leads in a certain area, then you could ramp up your budget there or get rid of the other areas so that more of the budget is going to where you want, right?
Exactly. You have full control over your top performing locations, your top performing keywords. You will have data to compare with. So let's say I have 5 keywords in an ad group and 3 of those are working really good. The other 2 are just spending money. I have full control to pause those keywords because they are not generating any leads and they are just spending my money. With a smart campaign, on the other hand, it's different because you don't have that data to validate what you want to accomplish. You don't have that data to tell you, hey, this is spending too much money. You should pause it. You don't have that. You don't have that data to back up what you're gonna do as an optimization.
Yeah, you're kind of relying on Google to figure it out for you. And I mean, let's face it, they want to make money, right?
It's exactly. I mean,
um,
the algorithm might not fully understand the specific needs of your business. So some recommendations that he will apply might not align with your business goals. And they are just gonna lead to wasted ad spend.
Yeah, and I think if you really, I mean, we really nerd out on the details here, and I think any agency or partner that you work with should be doing that. Uh, we It's important to set up conversion tracking, call tracking, and campaign tracking, so that and if you're using a CRM that will tie the lead to the closed amount, you will be able to see what deals were closed. I'm sorry, what keywords were used to close that deal. I mean, it could be that
Yeah.
sophisticated, and that's important because, I mean, paying for ads, it's an investment. And, it can be scary, it's risky, it's an investment. Like, if we knew what we were gonna get out of an investment, like, if there was a surefire guarantee, we would all be, we'd all be investing in all kinds of things. We'd all be rich, but it just doesn't work that way. I think that, just being able to look at the data and from a high level will get you to feel more comfortable investing more. And so some examples are, um, well, we have one client right now. He knows that July is a slow time for him normally. So we're ramping up his ad spend now, and he can do that confidently because we can go to him and say that your cost per lead is X amount. So we can
Mhm.
project how many more leads he needs to get and what his spend should be in order to get there. Some other situations are really understanding the value of the deals you're closing from different lead sources. So again, you have to have the right tracking and software in place. We use Sales Jumpstart in order to be able to tie that together. So we have one client where leads were kind of slow, honestly, with Google Ads, and it's we'll talk about that and these fluctuations and what you need to look out for when managing your ad campaigns. But we also found out that they were closing the highest value projects, like an average $250,000 projects with Google Ads alone. So even if the leads are slow, like obviously, you do what you can to always improve and get better. But if you can look at it from a higher level perspective, it'll help you, I think, feel more comfortable is what I'm trying to say, and just get a
Yeah,
little bit smarter with growing your business. So,
yeah.
what are some fluctuations that people need to understand, so that, let's say they try Google Ads for a month and it doesn't, they don't feel that it works. What are some things that they kind of need to know and to consider so that they don't just try it, once or for a short period of time and throw it out?
So the things that I always say to our client is that seasonality it's really important. Like if you know your season, the busy season, it's not in December, especially for tech builders. Like no one is investing a lot of money in December. I will not recommend to start running ads on December. Like it's if you have a short budget to use in Google Ads, don't waste it on your slower months. I mean, you want to start building that data for Google, but let's wait to be closer to your busy season. Another thing that I
Well,
recommend
hold on,
is
hold on. I want to interrupt you. So with that, because I know what you're talking about, but let's go back a little bit. So
okay,
I think you're kind of talking about the learning phase
yeah,
and feeding, like basically you're teaching Google what you're teaching it to work how you want it to work. And so if you're trying to
exactly,
do that, if you start your campaigns during slow season, it's not going to get enough data because there's not enough searches to properly optimize the campaigns off the bat, right? Did I explain that well?
exactly,
Okay.
yeah, pretty much it,
Okay.
yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
that's what you want. You want to give Google the data of your busy season and also closer to your busy season. So it's better to look out for that seasonality. And if you have a short budget, let's make sure to use it wisely. Another thing that I always tell them, it will depend on the location. You will see locations that have a higher conversion rate, but because the audience that you're looking for it is higher there. Like you know that location has a high income audience, the audience that it's willing to pay the type of projects that you offer. So it will be location, it will be audience. Like be aware that sometimes with the keyword selection and the audience selection, you can be too broad. So you need to look out for that because you don't want to be too broad. You want to make sure that you are spending your money and the keywords and the audience that you know are going to bring the traffic and the conversions that you're looking for.
Mhm.
So for me, seasonality, audience, um, location, those are the things that you need to look out for, and also competition. So as I said, there are some clients that they use the busy season to start running ads, and you know that in busy season, you might get a higher cost per click because there's more people running ads on that season. They
Mhm.
know that if they run ads, they're going to be above their competitors or be competing with a lot of tech builders that are deciding to start running ads at that moment. So competition is something to really look out for. And now Google has a lot of things to compare to the competitors that are in your area. You can do research of what they're doing if they're doing search. ads if they are doing display ads. So that's another thing to look out for. And competition, you need to be aware of what they're doing. So you know that how much budget you need, how many deck builders are running ads at the moment. Okay, so and also the keyword research. You need to be careful with the keywords that you are going to use.
Yep. That's a lot.
It is.
So everyone listening, you can do this all on your own now, right?
Yeah.
So in terms of the fluctuation, so just so I can recap, market demand, seasonality, and understand that you're going to be paying more when there's demand, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And then what your competition is up to. So you don't always want to just outbid your competition, right? There's kind of a sweet spot there, isn't there? You want to talk about bidding a little bit?
Yeah. So there's a sweet spot. This sweet spot, like it's not okay to show up, and you don't want to show up first all the time because you know that there are keywords that are more relevant to you, or there are keywords that maybe we are not targeting because we don't want to, such as deck repair. Not all the clients want to have to rank higher for a deck repair service because they might offer it, but that doesn't mean that I want to spend budget on that keyword. So it's about having a good impression share, keeping that impression share and good numbers, just so you can have a piece of the pie. And you don't need to show up in the first positions all the time because you're going to have really high cost per clicks. And sometimes those are people they are not even in the phase that are ready to convert. They are just looking for information. So you want to be careful, and it's okay to not show at the first position all the time.
Yeah. And then when you're starting your campaign, I believe that there's kind of some different phases that the campaign goes through, and that you're doing from a management perspective. Can you talk about that at all?
Are you referring to the visibility stage? And
yeah.
Okay. Okay, so there's the first phase. I really like to call it visibility because it's a phase that you're showing up. Like people is learning about you. You're doing brand awareness. Like, hey, I'm here. Visit my site. That's the visibility stage. It's a stage that you know that you're building that traffic. You're building those impressions, and after that stage, there's the engagement stage where you focus a lot in clicks. Like, hey, okay, I know that my ads are being shown to the audience, and maybe I have a lot of impressions, but I need engagement. I need that clicks. I need those clicks. I need that traffic to go to my site. So there's where you try to be more specific. Like, okay, I have broad keywords, but I also want to be specific in my keywords because I want that engagement. And after getting that engagement, after getting those clicks, I'm going to move to this next phase, which is the acquisition, where you focus a lot more in the conversions. So you already know people is clicking on your site. You already know which clicks of what keywords are bringing those conversions, because you're getting clicks and you're also getting conversions at the time. But then you can tell Google, okay, let's go into an acquisition phase. Let's use maybe I'm gonna touch base right now in something that we haven't discussed, but I would like to talk about bidding strategy, but I'm gonna talk about it later. So at the next phase, it's about acquisition, which basically it's a phase that you focus a lot more on the conversions. So you wanna tell Google, hey, focus more on conversions. I'm good with the clicks. You already understood what I wanted to have as clicks, what keywords I wanted to use, what's my ideal cost per click. Now let's focus on conversions, and let's focus in the cost per lead. So we will start gathering that data to understand what's the ideal cost per lead for you, and how much conversions, and what's the ideal conversion rate for your account.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, the whole thing is about, it's almost like you have this long-standing relationship with Google, and you know exactly what makes Google happy and how to communicate with Google. And
Mhm.
you can't go too fast. You got to take it slow and feed it things here and there, and hold its hand sometimes. It's so
Yeah,
interesting, but that's basically, like, in a nutshell, kind of what you're doing. And then, I always like to say it's like a DJ that's, tweaking the knobs, like you're just
yeah,
optimizing, is like going in there and, like, or you're in a sound booth or something, and you're just adjusting it and making it right. So, how long does it usually take to get an account to a good place?
so I would like to play it safe. I'm gonna say 3 to 5 months. I mean, sometimes it can be sooner because of your location. You don't have a lot of competition there. People, you're offering a service that's actually on fire at the moment, and you know that people is looking for that a lot. So it can be easier. So that's when it comes like in seasonality, location, audience.
Mhm.
So at the beginning, even Google takes 2 to 3 weeks for the learning phase because they still need to learn how to how to optimize for you what you're looking for. So
Yeah.
uh, if, if
They get
if we can
they get
say like a
comfortable
sweet
with each
spot,
other. They get
yeah,
comfortable with each other face.
exactly. So they need to get comfortable, and I will think that a 3 month it's a moment that you already have information about the traffic, about the clicks, how people is interacting with your ads, how much impression share you have, and you have data to compare with.
Mhm.
So you need that data to understand how your campaigns are going to perform moving forward and what are the things that you want to change. So we start with runner optimization since the beginning because you need to do the reviews and you need to look at the account to understand what's going on. It's not just Google.
Mhm.
So it's also on us as experts trying to make sure that we understand what's going on in the account and what's best at the moment and do the comparator analysis and research
Mhm. Yeah, and, looking at the full picture. So, I mean, you brought up the
picture.
reviews. I mean, if you have an ad showing up in the map pack, which is, where the Google business listings typically are in organic search, the reviews show, right? And basically looks like an organic listing when an ad is there.
In the search part, like in the
Yeah.
search in the SERP, it's going to show as a small ad, yeah, at the top, sponsored.
Well, in the map pack, though, when they show up in the map pack, they
Oh,
have the reviews
like
there,
are
right?
you referring to the guarantees?
No. I thought that, you could have ads show up, like sponsored ads show up in the map pack.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yes, you can. Yeah,
and
especially
the
if you're
reviews are there. So if you're
in
doing
the
that
reviews.
and you don't have good reviews, there's nothing, like, there's nothing we can do or you can do to try and improve that other than getting better reviews. And, as far
Exactly.
as trying to tweak the knobs on the account level. And then after you pay to get the traffic to your website. In terms of conversion rates, if your website looks terrible, it's a bad experience, or it's just not impressionable, or it's not clear, how you're different and compelling enough to get people to fill out your form or call you, then, your conversion rate's going to be low. So
Yeah.
I'm curious. I mean, you talked about slow season. I mean, what are your thoughts with having ads all year round and, having them up during slow season?
It's important. I'm not going to say to not run ads in your slow season. Like if you have the budget to keep your ads running, go ahead and do it because you're building that data. I mean, you're understanding your seasonality through the ads, and at the same time, people might not be ready to close deals in the slow season, but they know you're there.
Mhm.
So it's like they might go back to your site. And it's going to be super helpful at the moment that we want to retarget that audience
Mhm.
because those will be past visitors on your site.
Mhm.
And another way of using that information, that data of your slow season, it's to do retargeting. So at the end, that's going to be information that's going to be helpful in your busy season because we're going to be retargeting all that people that didn't convert. back then.
Mm-hmm.
And you keep that brand awareness. And if you stop, and it's like when you play around on pausing and activating, you mess up with the Google algorithm. So if you had a good impression share, if you had a good CTR, if you were in the sweet spot with Google, you will miss all that because
Mm-hmm.
Google will be like, who are you? Like, and you will start again from the beginning. And the learning phase is going to be with the outdated data because it's not going to be with the most recent data. Like, it's going to be with the data that of the ads that were running 3 months ago. How
Mm-hmm.
am I going to use that data to this month? So it is important to keep that active momentum because you lose the momentum with Google Ads if you pause them.
Yeah.
So and also they are always super helpful to match it with SEO. Like if you're doing SEO and you're doing Google Ads, it's gonna boost your SEO faster. So
Mm-hmm.
it is important to keep running Google Ads. But if you're really short in budget, maybe you can just keep running a small campaign with a couple keywords with a 500 budget because you know that's what you have for the month. That's okay. And you're gonna invest more in your busy season. That's okay. But
Mm-hmm.
when you pause the ads, you lose the momentum and you need to go back.
Yeah, right. Consistency is always key, isn't it? In anything marketing related. And, there's just so many people that I talk to that, they're looking for a silver bullet or, they throw spaghetti at the wall and nothing sticks. And they're like, oh, marketing doesn't work for me. Well,
Yeah.
you got to stick with it and you have to be strategic. I mean, everything that you just said is brilliant. Like, there is a different strategy at different times of the year, and there's a different strategy for how you utilize different channels. So I always tell people Facebook ads completely different than PPC. Facebook is where everybody's at, but they're not ready to rock and roll yet. And they might show interest, but they need sold. So they need nurtured and
Hmm.
primed for sales, and you need to approach that differently. Google ads, the cost per lead might be more, but they're qualified leads. They're people that are actively searching for a deck builder. So you have to approach how you handle the leads differently too, and have something in place to, really lead them down the funnel. And then marketing in general too, if somebody's in the research phase of even trying to figure out how they want to, like, right now I'm in my sunroom in my house, and my outdoor, for any deck builder that wants to do a pro bono here at the Edwards home. Like I could see, do I want a pool? Do I want pavers, or do I want a deck? Do I want an outdoor kitchen? Like, all of these things people will be researching, and your marketing needs to support them through that entire journey. Not just when they're ready to rock and roll, but Google ads is a good place for when they're ready to rock and roll. But the retargeting ads, as you mentioned, is such a great strategy to build up your audience so that when they are ready, you're in front of them.
Exactly.
What about, do you want to speak? Actually, let's speed it up here a little bit. Let's talk about some of those Google ad recommendations. And what are we even saying? What am I saying? Can you explain to our listeners what I mean when I say Google ad recommendations?
Yeah. So when you start doing your campaign, like instead of using the smart campaigns and you manually going to optimize your campaigns, Google will always have Google recommendations. So that's your job. I mean, basically, they want to give you of ideas of things that you can do on your account. But honestly, it can backfire. So I'm gonna try to be as specific as I can. Let's say that some of the Google recommendations that we have are towards keyword selection. And you know what keywords works for you. You know what keywords you wanna show up for. So some of the things that you might encounter when you blindly follow the Google recommendations, and if you don't review those carefully, you might end up targeting too broad, as I mentioned at the beginning. You might be targeting too broad an audience, which can lead to irrelevant clicks and higher costs. Because I'm going to give you an example of a keyword that shows up a lot for deck builders. Sometimes they recommend to have decks, just decks, as a keyword. But you know that that can be a composite deck, that can be a custom deck, but it can also be a deck of cards. Do you really want to show up for a deck of cards? No. So you're gonna be
or a slide deck or a skateboard deck.
Yeah, exactly. So do you want to spend your budget on those keywords? No. So you need to review carefully the recommendations that they're giving you, because sometimes they might not be aligned to your strategy. And sometimes they can, if you automatically apply the recommendations, you might start implementing changes that will increase your budget unnecessarily. And it will prioritize keywords that don't convert too well. So essentially, without a tailored approach, you might risk spending more money without seeing better results.
It's kind of like using ChatGPT for copy and not doing like not editing it or doing anything with it and just solely relying on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to what about if you get those phone calls from the reps and they want to talk to you?
Mhm.
What's their advice like, and what do you need to know about that?
So again, I mean, they will provide a lot of suggestions, and they will tell you that those are suggestions to improve the performance of your ads, and that include ideas like adding new keywords, changing your ad copy, adjusting your beats, changing your bid strategy. The recommendations can be helpful sometimes, especially because they use these Google recommendations as well in those phone calls. And the recommendations are generated by algorithms, but those algorithms not fully understand the specific needs of our clients or your business. So those recommendations might not align with your business goals or the target audience. So they might be leading to wasted ad spend, because one of the recommendations of a Google rep, and I'm sorry if a Google rep is listening, it's to spend more budget. I mean, that's gonna be the first. Like, they're gonna tell you your competition is spending more, but maybe that's not a local competitor. Maybe that's a national competitor that has a lot of budget, because they do have the budget to do it. Do I really want to bid higher to be on top of that competitor if it's a national competitor and not a local? No. So I feel like that's one of the recommendations that they give you is straightforward. And sometimes I'm gonna say they do have good recommendations, but maybe it's not that moment that you want to do it, because you're testing something for your client. I might be testing a different bid strategy compared to the ones that they are telling me to use. They might be telling me to use a value, a bid strategy towards value, and maybe I don't have value in my conversions, because that's information my clients have, not me. So you need to be careful also on those phone calls. They really use the Google recommendations. It's basically the same conversation and the same suggestions, but you need to be careful, because you know what are the things that you want to do on your account, and what's the strategy that you want to focus on, and what are your business goals.
Well said. Is there does Google give you like more credibility if you actually apply their recommendations? And where do those show? Tell our listeners, like, where are we getting these recommendations from, and kind of how do they work, and do we get more credibility if they see that we applied them?
No, Google recommendations, they don't apply to your rank. I mean, Google doesn't care if you apply the recommendations. It's not going to affect your rank. Rank is decided by something else. It's decided by your beat. It's decided by your relevance, and also it's decided by your landing page experience. So the optimization score does not affect your ranking. It does not affect your click-through rate, which is the how many clicks people how many clicks you get out of all the impressions, it doesn't affect anything of that. It's just suggestions and recommendations. You can have an optimization score of 40%, and that doesn't mean it's going to affect your ranking, and your account might be performing really good. Those suggestions are coming from an algorithm, but you're the one that better understands your goals, your business goals, and you're the one that understands what's the strategy you want to focus on at that moment. So optimization score, it's different from ad ranking.
How much time should you be spending how much time does it take typically to set up an account and then manage it ongoing?
So to set up an account, it will depend on the size of your location, of how many keywords, how many services. It can take me, it used to take me 2 hours at the beginning for small accounts. And now it can take me an hour and a half if it's a small client. But if it's a bigger client, it can take you a week, because if it's a national client, you want to build specific campaigns per location. You don't want to put all your things in the same basket. So you wanna make sure that you are doing tailored ads for the location. So and sometimes they don't even build the campaign the same day. It will take you some time. Like maybe it can take a week, 2 weeks. It will depend on how slowly you wanna. It can be gradually. You wanna make me start doing 10 ad groups, having 100 keywords, but you know that you need to target 200 keywords. So you don't want to do that from the beginning. You want to understand how the algorithm performs with those 100 keywords, and then you can start slowly adding more keywords based on your budget.
Interesting. And I have to imagine if it takes you a couple of hours, it would probably take a deck builder, triple that amount to get it all set up and bang their head on the table trying to figure it all out as they go. And then ongoing, I mean, how much time should people be spending ongoing, making adjustments and optimizations?
It's the same. If it's a small account, it can take you 30 to 45 minutes because you need to review the search trends, like the search terms, what people it's using to get to your ads. Make sure that you're adding the negative keywords. Make sure that you're optimizing your ad copy, looking at the keywords performance, analyzing the data. What are the new things that you want to do? Sometimes we even do comparator analysis just to see what's going on, because you do want to focus on cost per click because it increased. You do want to focus on the conversion rate because it decreased. What do you want to do? So when I optimize the account, I always try to have a goal. So my goal for this optimization, it's going to be X, Y, Z. Because if I don't have a goal, it can take me longer because I'm going to be everywhere. I'm going to be looking at all the data instead of focusing on what I want to do for that optimization. So it's better when you have a goal for that optimization. And let's say I want to decrease cost per click for this optimization and then you build your next steps because you know that you need to also check the conversion rate. I decrease my cost per click. So in my next optimization, I'm going to focus on the conversion rate. And by doing that, it can take you 30 to 45 minutes. And then if it's a bigger account, it can take you an hour and a half.
Yeah. And that's every time you're getting your pause in there too. Okay. Well, for a deck builder that's kind of interested in, approaching all this, what words of wisdom would you give them just starting out?
Approaching from scratch, like them doing everything on their own.
What should they do? What would be your recommended plan of attack?
So
on their own.
So first thing first, you need to take the time to understand your audience and what keywords your competitors are using to find services like yours. So, and also what keywords your audience is using to find services like yours. And also, you need to regularly review your campaign performance and be prepared to make adjustments. It's every time you review your account, you need to be prepared to make adjustments because you're not going to keep the things as they are. You have the data to analyze what's going on, what's working, what's not working. So you need to come prepared to your account to make those changes. And don't just set it and forget it. Like, people just they think that they just need to set up the account and that's it. No, you need to actually invest time and help. And the Google Ads require ongoing attention. So you need to be cautious with the Google's automated recommendations, and only implement changes that make sense for your specific goals. Mm-hmm. And lastly, I consider starting with a smaller budget to test what works before scaling up.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think these were amazing tips. Maybe we'll try and figure out, like, we'll have Natalia here next time and she can check out the live feed to see if anybody has any questions, and then we could answer some questions live, which would be amazing. But this has been really helpful. I really hope that anybody listening got some juicy nuggets out of this. Deck builder marketers, this is Alejandra here. If you ended up working with us, she's the wizard behind the curtain. I'm the growth strategist, so I help steer everybody in the right direction in terms of what marketing they should be doing based off of their goals and where they are in their business. But Alejandra is the one that makes it all happen. So if you guys have any other questions, always ping us, the Deck Builder Marketer socials. You can email, text, call, set up a strategy session with me. And as always, keep pushing your business forward.
Hey, deck building community. Enjoyed the show? Hit subscribe and give us your thoughts. We love hearing from you. Ready to level up your business? Visit deckbuildermarketers.com. Check out our services and let's build your success together. Don't forget to download our free guides. They're a game changer. Thanks for tuning in to We Love Deck Builders, and see you on the next episode.